Malik, you've been hearing this conversation. Do we just sound like a whole bunch of fucking Americans to you?
No, they've got a lot of good points there. I'm just listening in and trying to get my bearings. But I think that's the issue right now is that, where are your bearings? What are your principles? How were you brought up? Do you know what a man is? Do you know what a woman is? What's the duties? What are your duties? What's a woman supposed to be doing? What's your wife supposed to be doing? What are you supposed to be doing?
My wife's supposed to be watching the kids.
And that's how
I don't know what other wives are doing. My wives are doing.
So naturally, the wife's supposed to be taking care of home, while you, the man, is out there, working and coming, and you take care of her, and she takes care of you by taking care of home, so you don't have to be worried about what's going on in the back.
Yeah, I mean, 100%.
So once we know what our roles are, what our duties are, then we're okay. But if we start, saying that, okay, I can do what a woman can do, and a woman say, yeah, I can do what a man can do, then the lines become blurry and you don't know what's going on, and anything goes. And that's where now we don't know. You see, who's supposed to be in control? Is it the man or is it the woman?
Let's flip the script for a second. Hold on, let's flip the script for a second. Let's say the woman is making a lot more money than the man in a relationship. Is he not eventually going to be the beta male bitch?
100%, but that's one of the most common configurations right now. That goes back to my point about corporate land. Women, like, if I'm not even joking, if you're goofy and you can fuck a woman good right now, a woman will take care of you. She'll buy you gifts, take you on trips, she'll pay for everything. You see these configurations all over the place.
Would you want that, though?
Fuck no.
I would never want a fucking woman taking care of me.
No.
Listen. When I was broke, like when I was 21, 22, and I had to, my girlfriend had to help me out and stuff like that, I felt like a bitch, dude. I felt like a straight up bitch. And the problem is, if you don't have that self-worth in you, if you don't have those morals in you, be like, yo, this ain't the way. I can't have this broad taking care of me. You're not going to succeed in life. That's at least my opinion.
100%. But so my point was the only two configurations that work are the polar ends of that. It's either that configuration, which is a common one, or you got to go the complete other direction where you lord over the house like a fucking aristocrat. It's literally one of the two.
So you either be like Tate or be like a church.
Pretty much, yeah. The middle's dusted. Dude, the middle is dusted. People don't understand. The middle is so wrecked right now. It's at the extremes always. It's high-end, low-end theory. Low-end dudes are cleaning up. High-end dudes are cleaning up. The middle is completely flat.
Unless you're a woman. If you're a woman and you're a 5, you can put up some makeup, go on IG, look like a 7.5. All of a sudden, these guys are offering you trips.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen influencers talk to people on the phone on video call for the first time on streams, talking about, yo, come through, I'll buy you a ticket, this and that. I'm like, wow.
But that's part of the inversion. Have you noticed that very good-looking men date very ugly women?
I don't think women who are extremely good-looking want a man who looks better than them.
That is correct. That is correct. It's what a lot of these youngsters do not understand is that, so this is part of the inversion. You got a bunch of guys who are looks maxing now. If you notice this, guys are so self-conscious about their appearance. I have a personal theory that the invention of the mirror, like the household mirror, is one of the most evil fucking introductions into culture because men started preening and primping in front of the fucking mirror, and it created this gaping hole of insecurity that has yet to be filled. Men were never really supposed to know what the fuck they looked like. You know what I mean? Like, you had to stoop low into a fucking body of water to see your reflection. Men are salient forces. We're thrusters. We're supposed to inflict what we have inside us onto the world. You know what I mean? Like, we're not supposed to contain things in. But this modern society, it's guys just want to be prettier than their fucking girlfriend. Have you noticed this? Guys literally want to be more beautiful than their fucking women.
I remember my dad told me the man's job is to work, have scars, and the woman's job is to look good. I'm totally okay with my woman looking good enough for the both of us. I'm totally okay with that.
Exactly.
Because I don't think men should be pretty boys unless they're 5 white pads. I don't think men should be pretty boys.
Dude, it's a cursed archetype, actually. Seriously, because like the incels should be a little bit easier on themselves, to be honest with you, because the fucking pretty boy archetype, he might be able to fuck 100 chicks a week, but he ain't any closer to getting love than the incel. You know what I mean? Because he's not a man. He's a pretty boy. There's a huge difference. And you are correct 100% because, like you said, a woman never wants a man to outshine her in the beauty department.
I don't know. That is not what I've seen. Just from like interviewing guys on shows, the pretty boys clean up.
They clean up, but they don't get love.
No, they do. Like, I mean, I'll have pretty boys come on and like some of the guys will be complaining about like modern women, whatever. And they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. Women cook for me all the time. They do.
Yeah,
this
except again, women will make exceptions for certain guys.
Yeah.
You know, a woman who's never cooked before, all of a sudden she finds the man of her dreams. She's in there Betty Crocker all of a sudden.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's what you've seen. I just haven't seen that.
Well, I mean, listen, the way I look at it, I think women are the most manipulative creatures on the planet. I think if a woman is attractive, and she can, knows how to just manipulate a little bit, she can be very fucking dangerous, extremely dangerous. And, listen, if you're a girl and you're one of these boss girls and, you're making your money and you're doing your thing, cool. As long as you're not open your legs to like 50 different men within 2 years or something like that, it's fine, because the problem with women is you get pregnant and then you have those kids. That's the issue.
Talking about microchimerism.
Yeah, I mean, to a point.
I'm sure you could have a field day with that.
Huh?
Microchimerism, where women literally host portions of the DNA of every man they've ever slept with. That DNA never goes away.
Never will change. That's why women actually absorb energy and men actually give energy. That's why. And again, I'm not saying men should be whores either, but there's a difference if a man slept with 100 women and a woman slept with 100 men. There's a difference. Women absorb energy. I always like to point out that the word mentally ill starts with men, meaning if you sleep with too many men, you become mentally ill. All these bitches who are out here fucking sleeping with 20, 30, 40 freaking guys, they're all bipolar. I mean, you all know whores, every single one of you, and they're usually all bipolar because they slept with too many guys, and just like you said, that energy resonates.
No, there's one show where there's some OnlyFans chicks on, and who said their body count was like, I don't know, 50 to 100, something like that.
Disgusting.
Yeah, I know. And freaking, I remember I was like, I feel like a demonic presence in the room. And then this one girl was like, can we be friends? I'm like, no. Bitch. I was like, I'm blocking you after the show. I'm like, no, I don't need this. Stay away.
Gary, but have you noticed that? Have you noticed this looks maxing culture among men, like these bodybuilding types that are so obsessed with
a lot of them seem like they're gay.
100%.
I mean, I've had these guys attack me, and then you go look on their stream. They're bragging about selling photos to gay men and saying gay men pay a lot of money for photos. It's like, wow.
Oh my gosh, I had a guy on the show that did OnlyFans, like gay stuff. Like he said he was gay for pay. I mean, I think that just makes you gay, but he said he was straight.
Listen. If you're holding your ankles, you're gay. I don't give a damn how masculine you think you are. I don't give a damn about any of this stuff. It's a totally degenerate society. What are some solutions besides repealing 19, which we're both for? What are some solutions?
Is there any other way to like take women's vote away? Well, okay. I feel like men are taking a pay cut. I can't prove this, but I really think they're like subsidizing women's jobs, because I don't really think we do all that much in the workforce. Like, we just go to HR and just whine. That's really all we do. We like go, you remember those TikToks of those girls like working at tech companies, and they're like, I had like 2 meetings today, and these girls all made like 6 figures in tech. So to me, it's similar to the WNBA, where they take the men's money and give it to the women. I think we need to get rid of all these diversity hires. I just think it's bullshit. I think because it inflates our ego and makes us think we're more important than we are.
You know what's interesting about that fact? The WNBA makes a lot less money than the NBA, and they actually take their money from the NBA. But here's the interesting part. Women bitch. There's more women in America than men. If they actually supported women the same way men support men when it comes to athletics, they'd be making the same amount of money, if not more. Let's not forget, Ronda Rousey was the #1 UFC fighter with pay for a long time.
Yeah.
Not because she was a woman, but because she was the #1 attraction. And that's the beautiful thing about capitalism.
Right.
If you bring in the money, they will give you the money.
Well, and that's what I realized was when I was looking at, because I played women's sports my whole life. So I realized I was like, basically all the men are taking a pay cut. I mean, they don't get asked if they want to, but they really are. Like, all the NBA players are taking a pay cut and giving it to the women. And what I realized, I'm like, I bet you the same dynamic is going on in corporate America. I think the men are just getting paid less and they're working more. That's what I think is happening. And because I looked at infrastructure jobs, I'm like, because a lot of times we shit on the average guy. And I think sometimes it's just like, well, we need the average men in order to do what we do. None of us can do what we do without the men running the infrastructure of society. And so my question is, I expanded the definition of infrastructure a little bit to include like truckers, to include, because, some people say it's just plumbing, electricity, but I expanded it slightly. But 45% of men means 1 out of 2 men have infrastructure jobs, where less than 7% of women have infrastructure jobs. And the women that do, it's like 2% of them are police. Do those really count? Like, get the fuck out of there. And so it's like, my question is, why are we making more under 30 if the men are doing the more important jobs? Like, we always talk about these, like, lonely, lost men, and I agree, but it's like, what's causing this? And I think it's a lot of them are really frustrated because I really think they're working more. They're taking the money from the men, giving it to the women to give us these goddamn stupid egos, making us feel so special, when really they're the ones doing the hard jobs.
I can't disagree with anything you said.
And even I was thinking about this, like, I do well, but am I really like, I make a lot of money for someone my age, but it's
Would
like,
you put up with a man who made less than you?
well, I have to. I mean, come on. Like, I mean, I'm goated.
No,
like,
you don't.
I
you don't.
no, but it's like, in all honesty,
it would be more difficult for you.
Yeah. No, but it's just like the way I look at it is like, okay, my brothers are engineers. They're smarter than me. They make less than me, but my brothers are smarter than
OnlyFans girls make $1 million a month.
Yeah, but
the guys paving the road and making $50,000 a year.
Right,
that has nothing to do with intellect.
But that's my point is, like, just because you make more than a guy, like, it's just me monetizing beauty. That doesn't really count as being smart. I mean, I do think I'm smart, for a woman, not for a man. But in all honesty, it's like, I listen to my brothers all the time. They make less than me. Like, I know guys will never believe me, but I've always wanted to date an engineer.
Well, I mean, I'm sure
married.
millions of people are going to watch this. They're going to be right in your DMs, bro. When we get one of those arranged marriages.
Yeah.
Right?
But
Malik?
this is what I'm trying to get at, though. We're kind of returning to primal times now, where it's like the male lions are relatively lazy, just chilling. Like, seriously, I think we're riding the decline till the wheels come off. Men, I don't know any. I literally can name a handful of people that I know that are working hard in America right now. I don't know too many people that are working that hard. Men are pretty lazy. We're just chilling, sunbathing, doing whatever the fuck we do. The women are out hunting, getting the food. Like to bring.
Where are they hunting?
What are we?
Where are they hunting?
I see it.
I mean, it's like,
hunting men?
You really...
No, not hunting men. They're hunting resources. That's what I'm saying. Women are working hard.
Men are resources to women.
Yeah, but sex work is like a more common profession than education now. Like,
that's
one of the #1 employers of women is education, and now
they're probably better at it too.
That's what I'm saying. They're logging more hours at the computer than the guys are.
No, they're not.
The guys
doing
are just clicking
sex work.
Guys are clicking a couple buttons, trading crypto all day.
No, they're not. Not
That's
the majority. If you look up the breaking down the workforce, no, they're not. Again, 45% of men have infrastructure jobs. So that means you're like driving the trucks. That's not an easy job. The electricity. That's not an easy job. Like, I mean, men run society.
How do we get those?
Those sectors are fading. No, of course they are. They're slowly disappearing.
That is true.
I mean, yeah, but it's still. But I'm saying, like, right now, 45% of men have infrastructure jobs, where only 7% of women do. And I don't think women work more than men. And you can look at that, even the income over a lifetime, it starts to peak after we hit 30. It starts to flatline for women. Where
what is it? 80% of the debt in this country is by women.
Yeah, well, and women. So it's like around. Men, we kind of start the same as men in our 20s, and we're starting to out earn men in some major cities, but like the average man makes 45,000 and peaks at 55 at 70,000. That's like the
Average man
man's
makes
life.
55,000.
I can't.
No,
imagine
no,
that
he
world.
starts in his 20s.
Brother, I make that a week.
Yeah,
No,
you
no,
can't
no,
imagine
no,
that.
no, no. 45,000 in his 20s, and then by the time he's 55, that's when his income peaks at 70K. But I'm saying
70K is the peak.
I launched that yearly salary
Oh,
on
my.
cockroach racing.
Brother, we'll put that in Dana parlays.
100%.
Well, but we all make our money doing like technology, right? And so it's like, what, we're gonna shit on the guy that's building the building for us, that's doing the electricity, that's doing the plumbing. Like, we need those men to do what we do.
Everything is supply and demand, no matter what it is. Like, for instance, when you go to Russia, there's an abundance of beautiful women. There's literally an abundance of beautiful women. So the value a beautiful woman has there, it's much lower.
And I
Everything's supply and
understand it,
demand.
but what I'm arguing is that those men are doing the hard jobs, but the problem is they're getting paid less because we're subsidizing women's
100%.
roles. And I don't think women are like putting in the hours. I don't think we're really like grinding like that. I think they're just stealing money. And I can't really prove this. I just think it because
They're not really
They're
stealing
siphoning.
it
They're
if the
siphoning.
government's giving it to
well,
them,
it's a
pushing it their
small
way.
percentage of there's a small percentage of men that run these companies that have to give it to the women and transfer the wealth to the women somehow.